Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thanks, speakers, respected scholar, ladies and gentlemen. Before I begin my presentation, I would like to express my deepest condolences for the recent flood disaster that affected Aceh and surrounding areas. May all victims be guaranteed strength, patience, and victory. Today, I would like to present my research entitled Maqasid Shariah as a Foundation for Global Ethics, a study of Tafsir al-Misbah and its relevance for world civilization. In this, I will explain about executive summary, include introduction, research background, problem formulation, methodology, theoretical framework, findings, discussion, and conclusion. First, introduction. Research of Maqasid Shariah has grown rapidly over the moment. Rapidly over the past 2 decades, particularly in effort to expand its scope beyond the legal domain toward multidisciplinary processes such as human rights, sustainable development, and social ethics. Many modern scholars promote Maqasid as a conceptual framework capable of addressing global problems. However, studies on Maqasid from the perspective of tafsir, especially contemporary Indonesian exegesis, remain underexplored. Indonesian tafsir is seldom used as a reference in international discussion on global ethics. First gap, limited integration of Makosi with global issues in the context of Indonesian tafsir. Although the concept of Makosi has been widely studied, the research that connects it with humanitarian crisis, ecological degradation, social injustice, and digital ethics, especially in Tafsir al-Misbah, is still very limited. The second gap, limited studies examining Maqasid as a foundation for global ethics. This study seeks to answer how Tafsir al-Misbah by Muhammad Quraish interprets Quranic values related to the Maqasid Sharia, and how these values can contribute to the formation of a universal ethical paradigm that is relevant to world civilization. The significance to fill the gap in existing literature, strengthen the contribution of Indonesian tafsir to Makosi studies, and offer a Quranic ethical model for global issues such as human rights, ecology, and digital ethics. The objectives of the study to analyze how Muhammad Quraish interprets Makosid related first in Al-Misbah and to identify universal ethical values within Makosid, such as human dignity, justice, moderation, social responsibility, and environmental care, relevant to civilization. The research questions: how is the concept of Maqasid Sharia understood within the contemporary Islamic scholars' discourse? The minor of research: how does Muhammad Quraish Tafsir al-Misbah articulate Quranic values related to Maqasid Sharia? The second, what is the relevance of Maqasid Sharia in the perspective of Tafsir al-Misbah's foundation for global ethics in addressing contemporary humanitarian issues? The theoretical framework used for classical Maqasid include protection of religion, life, intellectual lineage, and property. The second, contemporary development, human dignity, justice, public welfare, and sustainability. The second, Tafsir al-Misbah as search data, as a contextual Quranic exegesis with an emphasis on ethical and social values. Maqasid as humanistic ethical paradigm. The methodology I use qualitative research based on library research, include thematic analysis method, and then the primary source, Tafsir al-Misbah by Muhammad Quraish, the contextual hermeneutics. The detailed findings in this, I put 4 points for the results. First, articulation of Maqasid in Tafsir al-Misbah, the transformation of Maqasid from a legal framework fiqh to the humanistic ethical framework, the relevance of Maqasid as a foundation for global ethics, the contribution of Indonesian Islamic to the global discourse, the discussions. We can discuss about 3 points in this research. This study focused on Tafsir al-Misbah, Therefore, the study doesn't include the detailed comparison with other tafsir works, only Al-Misbah, that is used a modern Maqasid approach. The second, the research data is qualitative and textual, just only textual, making the interpretation highly dependent on the researcher's reading of the tafsir text. The third, the scope of Maqasid in this study is limited to the dimension of global ethics, and it doesn't cover yet the social and political aspect in comprehensive way. The conclusion, this study shows the Maqasid Shariah in Tafsir al-Misbah has significant potential as a foundation for global ethics that is relevant to the challenges of modern civilization. Adabul Ijtima approach by Quraish Shihab successfully shifts Maqasid from a legal framework fiqh to the humanistic ethical paradigm that is compatible with global issues such as human rights, environmental digitalization, and world peace. And I think that's all. I beg from and thank you so much for your nice attention. Back to moderator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.